In a small town surrounded by quiet fields and long dusty roads lived a young man named Daniel. The town was not famous. There were no tall buildings, no big companies, and no exciting opportunities. Most people there lived simple lives. They woke up early. They worked hard. They earned just enough money to survive. And every evening, when the sun slowly disappeared behind the hills, the town would become silent again. Daniel grew up in that town. From the outside, his life looked normal. He had a family who loved him. He had a small house to live in. He had food on the table. But inside his mind, things were very different. Daniel constantly felt something, heavy inside his chest. A strange mixture of frustration, confusion, and quiet anger. Not anger at people, but anger at himself. Because deep down, Daniel knew something painful. He was wasting his life. Every day followed the same pattern. He woke up late. He spent hours scrolling through his phone. He watched videos. He talked with friends. He made big plans about the future, but he never actually did anything. Weeks passed, months passed, and slowly, the years started passing too. His friends were beginning to move forward in life. Some found jobs. Some started small businesses. Some went to bigger cities to chase their dreams. But Daniel remained exactly where he was. Stuck. Completely stuck. One evening, Daniel sat alone outside. His house. The sky was turning orange as the sun slowly disappeared. His father walked outside and sat beside him. His father was a quiet man who rarely gave long speeches. But when he spoke, his words carried weight. He looked at Daniel for a moment and said softly, "Son, do you know what the most dangerous thing in life is?" Daniel shook his head. "No." His father pointed toward the horizon. "It's not failure. It's comfort." Daniel frowned slightly. "What do you mean?" His father took a deep breath. "Failure hurts, but it teaches you something. But comfort slowly destroys your future while making you feel safe." Daniel didn't reply, but those words quietly entered his mind. That night, Daniel lay in bed staring at the ceiling. His father's words repeated again and again. Comfort slowly destroys your future. For the first time in a long time, Daniel asked himself a question he had always avoided. Where will I be 5 years from now if nothing changes? The answer scared him. 5 years later, he would still be in the same town, still wasting time, still talking about dreams instead of chasing them, still feeling that same frustration inside his chest. That night, Daniel barely slept. Something inside him had started to awaken. The next morning, he woke up earlier than usual. The sun had not fully risen yet. The air felt cold and quiet. Daniel stepped outside and began walking through the empty streets. For the first time in years, he was alone with his thoughts. And in that silence, he finally admitted the truth. His life wasn't bad because of bad luck. It was bad because of his habits. He avoided hard work. He avoided discipline. He avoided discomfort. And because of that, his life had become small. Very small. Daniel sat on a wooden bench near a quiet field. The wind moved gently through the grass. And in that moment, a simple but powerful realization struck him. Pain was not the enemy. Laziness was. Pain was the price of growth. Pain was the price of progress. Pain was the price of becoming someone stronger. But Daniel had spent years running away from pain, running away from effort, running away from discipline. Suddenly he understood something important. If he wanted his life to change, he would have to change first. No one else could do it for him. Not his parents, not his friends, not luck. Only him. Right there on that wooden bench, Daniel made a quiet promise to himself. No dramatic speeches, no big announcements, just a promise. I will become disciplined. He didn't know exactly how yet, but he knew one thing for sure. His old life had to end. That same day he began with something small, very small. He woke up early the next morning, not because he felt motivated, but because he had made a promise. The first morning was difficult. The second morning was even worse. His body wanted to sleep. His mind wanted comfort. Every part of him whispered, "Just sleep a little longer." But Daniel remembered something his father once told him. Discipline is doing what must be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. So he forced himself to stand up. Every day he started adding small habits: morning walks, reading books, learning new skills, exercising. At first it felt painful. His body hurt. His mind resisted. His old habits fought back. But something interesting started happening. The pain began changing him. Each day he completed his small tasks. He felt a tiny bit stronger, a tiny bit more confident, a tiny bit more focused. And slowly, discipline began replacing laziness. Weeks turned into months. Daniel was not rich. He was not famous, but he was becoming something far more powerful. He was becoming disciplined, and discipline was quietly transforming his life. But Daniel didn't know yet. The real test of his discipline was still coming, a test that would push him harder than anything he had ever experienced before, a test that would prove whether discipline could truly turn pain into power. And that test was about to begin.